go. Hey, we're live. Sweet. 9:25. I'm on time this time. Kinda. Right? Sorta. That counts. There's no notification yet. It's not on my own feed yet.
Here we go.
I'm waiting for it.
Found it.
Hey, I see Cam's on there watching now. Ross Collins is watching.
Damien.
Tivis is watching.
Tivis. Alright, we're up to 4 or 5. Let's go.
No, we got it at 5. Chelsea Painter's watching. Damien Coates is watching.
Alright,
These are just names topping my feed.
let's go.
I might need to run 3 viewers again. What happened? We gotta hit 5, guys. I gotta share to a page. I think that's what's going wrong there, Ross.
Here we go. Hold on, I got you.
Alright, are you sharing for me?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're gonna watch? Because it's gonna say Ross Collins shared.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay. We'll see. Can Ross Collins have an effect? Blunt Talk and County. Perfect. Just Blunt Talk and County. Nowhere else.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Where'd you also share to?
Hold on.
If you shared it won't be approved for like 5 days.
That's true.
Yeah, they're not going to approve it for like 5 whole days.
And then I did Warriors. That's it.
Oh, okay. So you want to advertise for the Warrior Market. Got it. Brilliant. Sean Parker or Sean Modes. Awesome.
One board yesterday.
We got 7. Let's go. Hey, welcome, Logan Peck, Kenny Diener. I'll stop saying names. 9:05. Here we go. Ross, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What did you do?
Let's just talk about last Sunday, Joe Blaze.
Let's talk about last Sunday in the Washington County Flag Football League.
Played last Sunday.
Let's talk about it. Starting off with a recap. First game, Broad Axe Red Knights. Let me tell you how hyped I was for this. Kevin Clancy versus Andy Hoffman. Nope. Big Mike came back out instead.
I liked it.
And I liked it too. Unfortunately, Clancy was out of the game due to an illness.
Yeah.
So we were deprived of that matchup. Instead, we got a game that was very interesting to watch for the longest time. It was a very competitive game, a very close game. Not even just Clancy. They're missing Zeke as well. Broad Axe did not have the passing threat they had because of that. And the fact they had to switch Big Mike over to quarterback.
Right.
So instead, they made an adjustment. They took advantage of a backfield of Big Mike, Joey Such, and Kayvon Carter.
Yeah.
The 2 guys at tailback, Kayvon and Joey, Big Mike at Q, and they ran read option out of the shotgun, and it was excellent. And it actually worked enough to get them those 12 points early on to get the lead on the Knights and have the advantage for the entire game. The Knights never got their offensive line. Hey, shout out to them, Tivis and company, Tom and all of those guys. Shout out to them. They played hard on Sunday. Broad Axe victorious in this one, 24-7. This game actually was closer than that final score implied. The Knights were in it the entire way through to about the 4th quarter.
Right.
They had a chance to take the lead. It was 12-7. They were driving. But let me talk about this Broad Axe defensive performance that they had. 9 sacks is my estimate they had. And at one point, I counted 6 in 8 plays that Broad Axe had on the Knights. 6 sacks in 8 plays. 9 overall is my estimate. If somebody has a higher number, let me know.
Right.
I just remember based on what number I thought about, it was 9. But I think that's what it was. Even then, if it was more, still very impressive. And 3 interceptions, including the pick 6 on Andy to give them the lead 18-7 and seal the deal right when the Knights were driving toward the red zone again.
Yeah.
Threatening Broad Axe in that 4th quarter. 24-7 to final. Broad Axe is back in the Final Four. And look, Ross, the post just got approved.
Yeah.
But Broad Axe back in the Final Four for the first time since the fall of 2017.
I like it.
When they beat the X-Dogs, they're back in the Final Four, Ross.
I like it.
The question is the dynasty back again? Are they reclaiming their throne? We'll see. Hey, looking at their opponent...
Here we go. Next game of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Next game of the day.
Can we
Let's
talk about...
We're doing recap, Johnny. Let's talk about the next game of the day last Sunday. After Broad Axe Red Knights.
The instant classic, the best game of the day.
Classic.
Ruckus and Railroaders.
Yup.
A game that some people thought could be a blowout based on Ruckus's past success against Railroaders was instead this competitive fight from start to finish. Hey, shout out Ross Collins. He predicted the Railroaders to win that game.
Right.
He almost got it right. Big facts. Shout out Ross Collins on that. But that game could have gone both ways. It was a great defensive battle. It was tied at 0 with 2 minutes to go. I know some of you were sitting there on Facebook saying boring, boring, but it's like, you know what? Both sides played great defense. It was an old school flag football
It
game.
was a good game. Man.
Both defenses stepped up in the red zone, too.
Yeah.
Brunswick had a chance to score early on, but Ruckus forced a stop. And then later on, Renner was picked off by Ian Fisher. Hey, shout out to both of those defenses, though. Excellent game, but a big shout out to Will Bray and the offensive line for Ruckus on those final 2 drives. After they fell behind 7-0, they came back behind that offensive line and Bray and managed to score twice, including once in overtime, to give them the 13-7 edge. Brunswick had their chances to win, but in the end, they just were short. And it's a shame. They played a great game, but shout out to Ruckus. They're back in the Final Four for the second consecutive season. They will be playing against Broad Axe for the second time this year. We'll see how that game goes when we get to the game schedule and predictions. However, Ross,
Yes, sir.
you didn't tell me about your weekend yet. Tell me what happened with your weekend.
Are we moving on to the third game of the day?
Yes.
All right, Program versus Warriors.
It was 10-0 Warriors over the Program. A
Yes, sir.
dominant defensive performance by the Warriors.
Yup.
Program held to 0 points for the second time this season by the Warriors.
It was a defensive battle all around.
All around, yeah. You guys didn't
As
score on
expected-
offense
as
at all.
expected.
You had a special team score from Kyle Marshall, and you had a pick 6 by Shane Zabir.
Yup.
But we look at this game.
Boo-boo.
Program did not cross the 50 outside of a penalty until the third quarter. That was it. A penalty gave them a first down inside the 50,
Yup.
and that was the only time they crossed it throughout the whole game.
They needed Ricky Miller, man.
Ricky wasn't there. Ricky was in New Mexico.
They needed
We had all these questions. Was it going to be Ricky? Was it going to be Adam? Adam was there, but it was Carasquillo. Brandon Carasquillo? Look, shout out to Brandon. He's my boy and all. We go back to Survivors, 2015. That's when I first met Brandon. Great kid. Love the guy. Fantastic ball player. One of the more underrated guys out there. Brandon. I think I told you this last spring when you tried this on Survivors. You're not a quarterback, bud. But you know what? Go out there, receiver. You can ball. It just didn't work out. 3 interceptions in 5 attempts by Carasquillo. 1 return for the touchdown by Zabir, and that was it. Adam Malott came in. He wasn't very effective either. Warriors, congratulations, Ross.
Thank you, sir.
You're back in the Final Four behind a defensive performance that featured Sean Moats stepping it up in a
Yes,
big
sir.
possible way. Can we talk? The day that Moatsy had
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
on Sunday.
Yeah, let's do that.
Can we talk about how maybe he should go out for linebacker or even DB at this point, because this man just seems to be able.
He's playing the perfect role right now. It's a hybrid.
He just seems to be able to get in there, not just as a defensive lineman in the backfield, but he has this inexplicable ability to go out there and catch the ball when it's needed.
Yup.
And he had 2 interceptions on Sunday.
2 interceptions.
2 interceptions, and how
Did he-
many?
Did he watch Sunday, Jerry?
I believe he had 1 on Brandon and 1 on Adam.
Yup. 2 different quarterbacks.
2 different quarterbacks. But
Awesome.
Moats managed to do it. And I'll tell you, he's having a great spring. We talked about what he did with Immortals.
Yup.
He did the same thing with them in Keystone.
Yup.
I believe he had a score in Keystone, too. Am I correct? He had his pick 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. and he wanted me to call him in, but he declined the call.
Yeah, call him in.
I am calling him in.
Where's he at? Must speak for himself, man.
I'm trying to. Facebook's
been having a great spring.
He has been having a great spring. It would be nice if I can get him. I just got to get Facebook to cooperate with me on this. You know how it be, Ross, of this stuff. But no, he's had an outstanding year, and this Warriors team, Ross, talking about it some more before I try to call him again.
We're seeing we have all kinds of D-line.
Oh, you guys are just absolutely deep at the defensive line position. Can you name off Can you just go ahead and say it, Ross? How deep you guys are?
Very deep.
Very deep.
Very deep.
Very deep. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And it's a big fact. Your defensive line has become one of the more dominant ones in this league, and that begs a question: come this Sunday, if they can manage to do such a performance again. But you guys have a way different challenge coming up than the program. The program's offense has been a mess. Let's just put it that way. It's been a mess all season.
Compared to what we have coming up.
Yeah. Compared to what they have coming up.
How many points per game they scored, Joe?
How many points per game have they scored?
80 of them.
ADR has scored 34 points per game, I believe, 31 points per game. I have to go check that in the stat column. ADR has a historical season right now. ADR is possibly having the best season of any Washington County team in the history of this league. Everybody out there, please find the archives. We got to see how historic this season is compared to any other team who's dominated this league in years past. Because right now, ADR is on a level where Ross, I'm not sure if the Warriors can hang with them. I was there or back on the day you guys played them.
Right.
I think it was Cinco de Mayo.
I believe so.
And you guys got absolutely trashed.
Second game of the day.
Second game of the day.
I know it's like their third or fourth game of the day. So I'm not making excuses, but yes, we do.
You guys just did not stand a chance. It was one-sided.
You ever watch car racing and stuff, don't you? They take test laps, man. So they get it just right.
And that's what you're saying, that game was a test lap for you guys?
Yeah, sure, we'll call it that. Why not?
Okay. In my opinion, we'll see how it goes. As we take a look at this schedule. Once again, congratulations, Ross. You guys advanced to your first Final Four ever.
Yeah.
And this is a big year for you guys. After last fall, you went from B bracket champion at 5-5. You had a lot of high hopes going into the fall. We all were talking, can the Warriors get over the hump and manage to become that team?
Yeah.
And you guys didn't live up to that hype at all last fall. You guys just weren't the same team. It was a pale ghost of what you guys used to be. And it was an absolute shame. Like you guys had done so much in that spring. And it's a shame to see when teams go downhill like that. But looking ahead at this schedule, kicking it off at about 10 a.m. It's going to be Broadax and Ruckus. Second meeting this season between both squads. Ruckus won the first. That's at 10 a.m. Followed by 11:30. It's going to be Warriors ADR. This is the game. I want to consider this to be a big game itself. I'm kind of curious just because it's playoff ball. It might rain. What do you think, Sean? What do you think about this upcoming matchup? Because I personally think you guys are going to be having your greatest challenge yet this season, but it might be a little too much for you. Because let's be frank here, and let's be real, Adrenaline Rush has too much talent.
You're right. I mean, they're easily probably the best team that I've ever played in county, in my opinion. They've got all the pieces. Their D-line is just as deep, if not deeper than ours. It's going to be a good battle up front. I just can't wait to get out there, man.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be one of the more physical games of that day.
What? Which one?
you guys versus ADR will be at the very least, a fight in the trenches.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's gonna be a wild game, yeah. Anything can happen.
I believe so too. But first, I want to ask Sean about last week's game against the program, your former team. You
Oh,
came
yeah.
out there and had a day, Sean. Tell us about it.
I get lucky, man. I just right place, right time. Got some good guys around me that I just can go out and do what I want to do. I guess it's instinct. You never lose it. It's football instinct. You always have it. So I don't know, man. It felt pretty good to go out there and get that win against my old team and get the shutout. Like you said, like the only play they had on the other side of the 50, that was the one I picked off a lot. So like it felt pretty good to hold them, that bad. Foot was definitely on the throat for that one, man. It felt good, and a lot of people were doubting us, and that's going into this week, everybody's doubting us. I don't blame them. ADR's a fucking fantastic team, and we're just gonna see what we can do, man. That's all you can do out here.
Yeah.
Championship weekend.
The biggest week of the season.
Oh,
And
That's right, man.
Moats, you've been a part of many championship weekends. You've been out there before, whether it's the player on a team or whether it's a spectator. Going into this one, how would you measure adrenaline rush compared to every team you've seen in the postseason? This particular ADR team, this 2019 spring team, is this the best you've seen ever? Because you said ADR right now, it was the best earlier, but I'm saying compared to this team in particular, the run they're having this season, is it the best you've seen of any team?
I still think that we haven't even seen them full strength this year.
Really?
I mean, in my opinion, yeah.
Not since week
But
one.
it's you look back at some of those back when it was Miller Lite, Broad Axe was Miller Lite. Like they had some dominant teams back in 2007 through whatever. When was the last championship? 2015.
2017.
2017. I mean, they had some dominant teams back then, but our league has changed so much, and the style of play has changed so much. And ADR, brought up that different style of offense up here, so everybody's having to adjust to it and really change the game and change the landscape of the league. So but like again, I really think they'll be the best team that I've ever faced in the playoffs. So that's saying something, man. I know somebody was posting about anybody got any PG Hitman highlights the other day, and I found that video on YouTube from 2009, man. So it's crazy.
And that is coming up. Your 10-year anniversary in this league. How's it feel, man?
you old man.
Old man.
You
I had hair back in that video.
That video is crazy to watch. I like the
He had hair.
most of them, look it up. PG Hitmen on YouTube. They were the guys who originated filming in this league in the modern era. They had YouTube clips before I did.
That's back when I still played true linebacker position back in those days. Too slow to do it full time anymore, but every now and then I'll drop back.
Hey, it's worked. I've seen it. How many interceptions do you have this season?
Oh, God.
4 altogether.
4?
Yeah.
And is that counting Immortals?
Yes.
Okay.
Up there I had I've got 3 in county. I had 1 up there, and I had that one. That my touchdown was I played tight end for a game, and Sosa threw me the ball, and I took it in.
Nice.
So I'm trying, man. Felt good catching a touchdown pass from that dude, man. He balls.
You are having an excellent season.
His first interception was the Warriors, and he returned it for 40, 45 yards.
Yeah, he did.
Like that, and he ran out of gas.
I ran out of gas, man.
He laid out one on the stiff arm, man.
Yeah. And I gotta say, Sean, this has to be. Would you say this is your best season ever? Are you at your all-time high in your 10th year?
Oh, shit.
As far as team goes, I think so. Like stats are cool and all, but I'm just worried about the big picture.
Yeah.
Statistically, I used to be really worried about, I want to be that guy getting that sack, but now I don't care. Like there's so many other guys around me that, I'll take the double team up the middle if, Zabir or Louis can get that edge and get that sack. And then Brock and Cam, Jutt, Sam, like there's just so many guys around me that really just make it easier. And I can, have that freedom to not really take a play off per se, but just drop back into coverage and take away that slant. It's nice having dogs around you.
Yeah. And that, like I said, that defensive line for the Warriors, very deep right now. You guys have Brock, Cam, Moats, Ryan Lewis.
Ryan Lewis is probably one of the most underrated players in this league.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, he's one of the guys that gets no talk about, but we seen him play wide receiver earlier this year.
He shows up, and whenever he shows up there like he's ready to go frog gigging out in the swamp, and then goes out there and balls.
Yeah.
So it's funny looking, man.
And it's crazy too. How you guys just seem to plug and play guys in different positions and how well you guys have come together as a team, especially in these last couple of seasons. Spring has really been the best time of the year for the Warriors. And I'm really hoping this carries into the fall for you guys. Because you got a lot of momentum right now, no matter how this game goes on Sunday. Because I know it's a big game, but let's be real here. Look who you're playing.
Definitely, man. Like, it was nice to go out and get the win, last week and throw the shutout, but our offense wasn't where it needs to be. Like, and everyone saw that our offense didn't score. I mean, we had the field goal and the pick six, but offensively we struggled. Got to put a game plan together because that's not going to get it done against ADR. Nobody's shutting ADR out. It's impossible. So, got to put points on the board.
At least not in this league.
Nope. So.
But we'll see what happens on Sunday. Let's say I'm going to assume, Moats, I always ask this question: who do you have winning if you don't? Who doesn't win at all? I think I asked you last week. Your prediction still the same? If you don't take it,
if it's not us, man, it's ADR. I think if it came down to ADR, Broadax, like I have Broadax beating Ruckus. I think it'll be another great game to watch, but I just think ADR takes it. They're just too many athletes, too many solid athletes at every position. So I think if we lose, ADR, Broadax might be close for a half, but then it's all ADR. I just think they take it with their athletes at their skill positions.
Yeah. They've been an absolute force this season, and we will see how that goes in the postseason. The weather is favorable. That's the one thing that's halted ADR in its past is when it's bad weather. We've seen how it's affected them. The rain has and elements. Dame said it, 84 and sunny. Be prepared, fellas. You're in for a war in the trenches.
Of Warriors versus ADR wins the championship.
Is that what you feel like? Get to that in predictions. But thank you, Sean, for joining us.
That's my prediction.
Absolutely, man.
We'll see you Sunday, sir.
Mm-hmm. Peace.
Peace. Sean Moats joining us. Bullets will be coming to play.
Where's that information at, Joe?
Tivis just said it. Yeah, bro. You gonna see it? Bring Dame on live? Okay, Kato. I'm gonna bring Dame on right now. If he accepts this. I already sent it, but Moat seems pretty confident in ADR and you guys are the most, which has how you feel. So, hey, there's Dame.
Hey, what's up?
So no offense. Nothing much, man.
No, it's all good.
Kato said he wanted Dame on, so here you are. So, how unconfident do you feel about Ruckus's chances now that you guys struggle with the Railroaders?
We just played down to them. I'm still pretty confident. We beat them once. It's gonna be a little bit harder this time, so hopefully we can pull it out again. I believe in every person on my team. Hopefully they're ready. I believe they are.
I believe you guys will be too, but it's just like I look back at that game last week, and you guys did say you did play down the Railroaders, but you got to be careful because that can kill momentum pretty fast in the team, especially when you go against this Broadax squad who is coming off a win against the Red Knights where they didn't have Kevin Clancy, and they still went out there and had a great defensive performance. They ran the ball, they ran the option, bro.
Man, I was rooting for the Red Knights so hard, and then they drove down the field like twice, and Andy threw the ball straight to Wallace, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah, Mike Wallace had the big pick.
Why can't you? He threw him straight to him. I'm like, come on. It was like 2 times like in the red zone I saw Scullion just sitting there butt naked open and sack. It happens though.
No, it happens a lot. Just one of those things where like the wrong read is made and it kills the team fast. And for the Red Knights, that was the end. For you guys though, this Broadax team, that last game left a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, I got it. What'd you say? My bad.
I said for Broadax, that last game left a bad taste in their mouth. Especially the talk over social media you guys had. Their approach is going to be a lot different this time. What are you guys doing differently to prepare for this game?
I'm hoping. Oh, my bad. Hello.
If we still have them. He's fading in and out.
Hold up. There we go. Gotcha.
Yeah, there he is. Whoa, we upside down. You have me spinning, bro.
This shit's. I don't know. I clicked on a comment or something. But hold up. I got to take something out of the oven real quick.
Oh, my gosh, Damien. You're killing me.
My bad, man.
I mean, at least you have clothes on. Some people don't know to put clothes on when you ever.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, it would just be like that sometimes. But going over that game real quick with Railroaders one more time. Shout out to them for the performance they had against you guys. But in the end, the running game seems like your all's biggest strength. What are you guys doing for Sunday to approach Broadax differently than you did with Railroaders and in the first game against Broadax?
Shit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fucking. This camera's pissing me off. There we go. Flipped it, but it's not flipping. It's just, I don't know. But
just hold it in one place. That's all we need. We can keep it, man. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
All right. I'm trying to. Hopefully, we score more. We're gonna have to score more to beat Broadax this time. Like last time, I think the score it was like 16-12 or something like that. We're gonna have to score more points this time to beat them.
Yeah, and that was a game where Renner torched him in the secondary. He exploited the weakness of Broadax, that secondary. And the biggest question is going to be if Broadax can get to Renner this time, because that was one of the biggest things that got him last time.
I thought they did a decent job last time getting to him. I think Renner got rid of the ball quicker than they expected.
I keep forgetting.
And you got to remember when we played last week, we didn't have Derek neither. Like we didn't have Dehaney. So we didn't have our jump ball guy. Yeah. Like that kind of hurt us a little bit, relying on him for so much. And I have no clue. Hopefully, I would love for him to be there.
That could be big.
We're gonna need him. Yeah, we're gonna need him.
Because that's the thing. Because Derek Dehaney, he wasn't there last week, so if he's not there this week, that's a big loss for you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna suck, but next man up.
Yeah, for real. Ross?
Yep.
I know you have some words for Damien after last week when he came on to give you
everything he said last week was false. What I said? Everything he said about the Warriors was false.
Everything about the Warriors.
I'm just fucking with you, and you just get so butthurt all the time. You know I like you guys. Only do it because you let it get to you. So I'm gonna keep doing it until you stop. It's called nitpicking, bro. Calm down.
I'm not buttered one bit.
Fucking
You
camera's still
sound like you're
pissing
pretty
me
mad right now, Ross. You okay? Hey, relax over there, okay?
off. Tissue for your tears, bro.
Really?
He's a little red. You're a little red right now, Ross. A little red right now. Gotta relax, bro.
It's all right, man.
He's redder
I'll
than the ADR jersey. But yes. So Damien, you still got ADR for the final if you guys don't take it, or do you feel like you guys feel like that Broad Axe is a better opponent, or do you believe in the Warriors? Is this the time for the Warriors?
I feel like if the Warriors had more time with all the people on their team, they could be a lot better. Their offense is still slacking a little bit. They kind of remind me of us a little bit. We can hold people out for so long, but eventually somebody's going to score if your defense is on the field the whole damn game.
Yeah,
they're going to be good, though. Yeah, once some guys start practicing together, they're going to be an even bigger problem.
that's one of the things, and that's what we talk about the Warriors going to next fall is they can maintain that success they've had this spring. The question is, can Rutgers maintain their success against Broad Axe? We'll see on Sunday. But
I hope so.
Who do you guys in the ADR Warriors game?
ADR Warriors game?
Yeah.
Unless the ADR comes out just playing around with them, taking them lightly. I'm sorry, Ross. Like, they didn't just average 34 points for no reason.
No, you have
like,
to.
Yeah, I have to.
They scored 34 points against you guys with 11 people
And
last time.
they skunked a lot of teams too. A lot of teams didn't score on them, like including my team. Like, I was so mad when we couldn't play that first week and we had to play them first, and I was like, that's a shitty way to start a season off.
Yeah, but you guys didn't play their full squad. Nobody has seen ADR's full squad since.
It doesn't matter. We scored against them.
You scored against 11 of them, and then you lost by 31.
So what?
You lost by 31 to the B team.
We scored against them.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Do you want to cook it?
Nah.
Go out
Cal
and
scored.
You got a whole box of them.
Yeah,
Grab one.
Cal
Grab
scored.
one.
You know, Cal keeps his own stats. That's those Cal points. Cal scored them points.
Cal, is he your all's lead scorer?
I believe he is.
I think he is.
I saw that fake punt he had to Justin Fox a few weeks ago. Maybe you should run Kyle at QB some this week too. Telling you, Kyle could be a nice little QB too.
You never know.
Oh man, that would be funny.
I'm curious to see what you bring out. You've had some crazy things this year, Ross. I kind of want to see Ruckus go back to running some crazy offense. You guys have gotten a little stale. I want to see Steven sling it, but I'll tell you, I love that running game y'all busted out last week. It worked really well.
I was so happy they did that because since I've been on the team, that's our problem. We get to important games and just go away from the stuff that we do on the regular, and it just shoots ourselves in the foot every time, and it's kind of annoying, but. You know, that's the offense problem. I get out there, get my little blocks and runs. I'm mainly on defense. You might have to put that back in.
I already did.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. And you guys, and it's weird because you guys are actually pretty deep at tailback when you think of the people who were on that roster. Period.
Yeah, we are, but
But you guys can also sling it too. You guys have the potential to be good. I think you just need to run. You got to be more balanced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to make the right play call at the right time with your strengths, which is running the ball in that deep pass.
Yeah, that's what I always say. When we went on them them 2 championship runs, that's what we did. We ran the ball majority of the time, and then it would set the pass up. But things change. Just got to move on with it. I'm 180 pounds playing D-line, and I'm going against these motherfuckers. I'm so hurt over this season. It sucks. It's a lot of good offensive linemen.
I can imagine it's been weird watching you try to play defensive line. Because I've been used to seeing you elsewhere, but you've been going in there. You've been playing hard. Big props to you. That's a tough position to play.
I'm the one.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I'm leading sacks on my team. It's not easy, but I do my best.
Hey, it's all you can. That's all you can do is do your best, man. But thanks for joining us on the show tonight once again, Damien.
No
Look forward
problem.
to seeing you guys in Ruckus on Sunday. Or you
First
guys
game.
rather. First game of the day. What a good kickoff. Broadax and
Yeah.
Ruckus.
Yeah.
Two of the older teams in this league going at it to start our morning. And then we have
Man, it never fails
two of the
though.
younger teams.
I don't think we've ever beat them like to move on in the playoffs ever. No.
No, in the playoffs.
Every time we played them in the playoffs, they've beat the shit out of us. Championship, semis, whatever. Hopefully it changes.
That's going to be one of the biggest factors to this game. Is this going to be the old school Broadax that rolls up in the playoffs and just steamrolls teams? Or is this going to be the Broadax of lately that has been lackadaisical in the playoffs, which that game was nice last week. They played excellent. Don't get me wrong. But I go back to the Mayhem game last year they had in the playoffs. I can't fully blame them for what happened against X-Dogs, but it still was a bad game for them. If that team shows up, it could be an interesting game between Ruckus and Broadax. I think it's going to be a battle either way. I look forward to that one Sunday. Ruckus, Broadax, tune in, 10 a.m. Damien, thanks for joining us once again.
No problem, man. See you later. I'll see you then.
All right.
Good luck, Ruckus.
Best of luck.
Warriors suck.
Aha. Nice ending there. But he seems pretty confident. I feel like Ruckus has a shot. I feel like Broadax does too. I feel like it's going to come down to whether or not they have Clancy come out there. I feel like even then that Broadax could theoretically win that game with Big Mike running that option in the backfield. That option was pretty cool to watch. They just need to have Isaiah back there receiver. Although, like, I would like to see Clancy back there Sunday, because I like to see every team at their best because of the fact that it helps as the league look better, the games play out better, and whenever teams don't have everybody for playoffs, it feels like a cop-out. We wait all season for this. Everybody's showing what they have. Here we go, biggest week of the year, and then nothing. So hopefully this Final Four Sunday lives up to the hype. I feel like these two games could be interesting coming in. Ruckus Broadax at 10 a.m. kickoff. That's going to be a nice, interesting game. The running game, it's going to come down to who has the better play calling in that game. Because both teams could pass the ball. They could throw deep. They can run. They have mobile quarterbacks. They have backfields that can run the ball. Ruckus has Will Bray run the ball. Let's say Broadax uses Kevin Clancy with Joey Such, and he can also use Kayvon Carter. Throw in Big Mike at tight end, too. Finally back in his position. This is going to be an interesting game, and I feel like it's going to turn into a shootout, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like it has that potential, but we'll see.
I think it'll be a good game. I'll be out there, man. I'm showing up.
The biggest thing is going to be whether or not Ruckus can win the trench war with them.
Championship Sunday, man.
I feel like Ruckus, if they can win the trench war, then they can win that game. However, I feel like with Broadax, their secondary is going to be a problem. They've been exploited all season in different games.
The defense?
The secondary for Broadax. Yeah. And we saw how it collapsed against ADR in that final half. Which they were tired. I got to give them that. But at the same time, I've seen that secondary give a lot of big plays deep. Even in the first Ruckus game, they did so. If Dehaney's back there on Sunday, that's a big thing for Ruckus. They need that. If they get Dehaney, if they have that running game, if they call the right plays, Ruckus can win this game. At the same time, however, this is a tall task for them. They would have to beat a national championship winning starting quarterback twice in a season. And, you can say ADR did it. Okay. ADR's having a dominant year of a team that's very OP. Ruckus has not been very dominant this season. We've seen Ruckus get manhandled. You guys in ADR actually beat the living crap out of them in both games. Now the first game Ruckus beat you all in, but that game doesn't matter anymore. That was 2 months ago. But the only other game I've seen Ruckus in against you guys didn't look pretty. And yeah, I know the ADR game was also 2 months ago, but ADR was at full strength that day, and I still feel like Ruckus still wouldn't have beaten them. Just too much right now. And honestly, before we get to predictions,
Yeah, what are your predictions?
what are my predictions?
Are we moving on? We got Dane? Damn Dane? Where Damn Dane at?
Trying to get him to call
You
in.
said give him 5 minutes. How long ago was that?
Did he say that? I didn't
Yeah,
check
he
that
did,
comment.
he did.
Give him 5? Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Let me talk about the strengths and weaknesses of these teams real quick. Finishing up with that Ruckus Broadaxe game, I said for Ruckus, their biggest weakness, in my opinion, going into this game, maybe their offensive line. No slight to them, but I feel like with that game, I feel like Broadaxe's defensive line, if they start winning some battles and they force Steven Renner into making mistakes, and with the way that Heat's set up to be very hot on Sunday, I feel like they can wear down that Ruckus line that has showed me all season doesn't seem to play very well in those kind of intense moments in games. I've seen them get worn out and tired. I feel like they can get worn out in this game if, say, Broadaxe does get back there, because we know what that Broadaxe defensive line can do.
You got Cooper,
They got Danny.
Danny. Who's the center?
Center. Think. Blinking.
This is the dude from Top Gun.
Yeah, I'm just like blanking on names at the moment.
Yeah.
But like I've just seen their line get worn down by the other dominant defensive lines. I saw you guys manhandle them in the Bassford Heritage Bowl. You guys had a day with them, and they looked like they were just gone in that game. I feel like Broadaxe could do the same thing. If they get a couple sacks on Renner or force mistakes,
Yeah.
that could be the big back. McGee? Okay, I just had to think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been blanking all season on names offhand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be the intriguing factor is their offensive line can hold up. And I feel like Broadaxe's defensive line is just a little bit more stronger. And if they force Renner mistakes, that's going to really change it. Because right now, Steven Renner in the playoffs, outside of that one game he had against... You remember the Bassford Bowl, Boone? You weren't there that day? That's great. Outside of that one game Renner had in the playoffs 3 years ago with the Ducks, he hasn't looked very impressive in postseason games. And as a quarterback, I look back at the affiliate game. Maybe that's a weakness, but he's shown improvement this year that maybe he'll get the benefit of the doubt going into this game with Broadaxe. I just feel like if they get to him, it's going to be a problem. But I look back at the AFN game last year; he had nothing. But it was against AFN, albeit. But then I look back against the Railroaders game last week, and he struggled in that game as well. And the Railroaders were able to get pressure on him. If Broadaxe can do the same thing, which I know they can, that's a bad combination for that Ruckus team. I feel like Broadaxe, for that reason, can and could take the game. We'll see when I get the predictions. But that's their biggest weakness. As for Broadaxe, like I said, their secondary, I feel like can be exploited. I've seen it all season. If they get that deep ball going, if Renner can get it off, then it's a different ball game. If they get enough time for him and he gets it off, I feel like they can win it. And if they can manage to take advantage of the run game sometimes too, that could also benefit them. That's going to be a good game Sunday. I look forward to it. But I feel like Broadaxe's secondary could be their biggest Achilles heel in this Final Four overall. Same with Ruckus and their offensive line. That's another thing. Their offensive line in double headers, going back to that real quick, have you noticed how bad they look in double headers? How bad the program was able to beat them and how bad you guys handled them? That's been the one thing. Stamina's killed Ruckus.
Whoever wins the Warriors ADR game is going to win
The championship? Okay.
100%.
You believe that?
There's not a doubt in my mind.
I feel like you guys have a weakness too, though.
What?
Your offense.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Your offense has been an Achilles heel. I know, let me give you some credit. You did put up 20 on Ruckus, and you put up 20 on Knights and some other teams.
Yeah, I've been shut out all season.
You have not. You're right. No, you were shut out by Ruckus. But we don't. That game was 2 months ago. You were shut out by Ruckus, 18-0 first game. Did you forget about that already?
We scored 3, didn't we?
Nope.
Oh, shit. That game,
Yep, you got shut out. You got
that game
donut.
was sloppy.
Sit down, Ross. Sit
No,
down.
we definitely scored 3, dude.
No, you didn't. I was there. But anyways, like I'm trying to say, your offense is your biggest weakness right now. And no offense to Snavely and company, I just don't feel like it's enough to win that game against ADR. You got to be able to put up points. If you guys have Justin Fox, maybe it's a different story. You could change that element. I just feel like watching this offense against Program, who was the second best defense in this league. They've held you to a total of 26 points in 3 games, which is an average of 8 points per game, practically.
Huh?
Yeah, you've been held 8 points per game against Program, which is the second best defense in this league. Imagine what ADR, with the number 1 defense, who's already held you to 3, is going to do to your offense in this game. We saw what happened on Cinco de Mayo.
Joey,
Their 11 handled
Joe.
your 28.
but
That's a guess.
While we're on the subject of program lawyers, will we not probably be second or at least close to it defensively?
You're close.
Had program played ADR.
That's not the point. The point is, Ross, your offense,
We all played.
your offense does not have enough to win this championship. I just don't see it.
Okay.
I feel like
That's fair
ADR.
enough.
Yeah. If ADR brings everybody, if this is the ADR I saw in week 1, it's over. Guaranteed. But I feel like with your offense, Ross, you just don't got it. And no offense, but that's your biggest weakness. As for ADR, what's their biggest weakness? Let me tell you what it is. In this league, their biggest weakness is the elements. And right now, the elements are in their favor. You better hope for a spontaneous rainstorm like we're in South High last year, Ross.
Uh-huh.
Or, because that's the only way that I feel like they can be stopped, is if that storm breaks out and causes friction. Because I've seen it all season. When it rains, when the storm comes, it's not good for ADR.
Uh-huh.
Railroaders managed to have that advantage against them. Broadaxe did. And I saw where the rain affected them. Not the same team. I saw a couple of years ago when they played X-Dogs in the mud how much the elements affected them in a field that they weren't able to. This game's on turf. Even if it rains, it ain't going to hurt them. In fact, it's plays to their strengths. And so, in my opinion, that's their biggest weakness, is the elements. Now, does that mean predicting they're going to win the game? Yes, but no at the same time. Because a lot of things can happen. Let's talk scenarios. Anything can happen in these games, man. Because it's playoff ball. It's the biggest time of the year. This is the one week where you leave nothing on the field. Period. This is the one week where you have to show everything. If you don't, if you fall short, it's on you. You got to step up. Or don't show up. As we get to predictions, real quick. First game, Broadaxe, Ruckus, Ross. Who do you got?
Broadaxe.
Broadaxe?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with, in my opinion, revenge is happening. Kevin Clancy told me earlier he's on a revenge tour once he gets back from vacation. That tells me Broadaxe is coming. And I feel like Ruckus, with the weaknesses I pointed out earlier, the offensive line and the quarterback position, could really come back and haunt them. Steven can throw the ball, don't get me wrong. Steven will either A, exploit that secondary, or he's going to B, blow up in this game in a negative way. We'll see. I just feel like that the Broadaxe defense gets to him. They force him into mistakes. And Kevin Clancy and company rally around a stout running game and a passing game that will be at its best. And they win it. I feel like Broadaxe takes it. And I wouldn't be shocked if Broadaxe takes it by a score or two. I just feel like Ruckus is just a little flat right now. And Broadaxe is in a prime position to take advantage of that.
Once we took them into overtime.
They did. Brunswick almost beat them. Moving on to the next game. Warriors ADR. Ross, I know who you got.
Yup.
Who do I got?
I know who you got. It's a smart pick.
It's a smart pick.
Smart pick.
You guys just don't have the offense to win this game.
All right.
But I feel like there's a way you can. And the way you can win this game, Ross, is...
What you got, Joe? What do you think will take for the Warriors to win this game?
play the Warrior way.
Uh-huh.
You know the Warrior way. I know the Warrior way.
I do.
A lot of us know the Warrior way. If you come out there and play the Warrior way, it's going to be your day.
Damn. Poet and didn't know it, Joey.
ADR by 30.
All right.
Final game of the day.
By 30.
Championship game. I got ADR Broadaxe. You got ADR Broadaxe.
No, I got Warriors for that.
Actually, let's have the games play out, and I'll announce my pick on air before the game Sunday. We're going to do a pregame show and everything after Warriors ADR. In fact, the winning team of the first game is invited to join me in the booth for it. In fact, next week, the championship winner is invited to celebrate here, and Ross has already told me it's going to be who again?
The Warriors.
Warriors?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. For now, though, till Sunday, I'm Joey Blaze. You have a great weekend.
Partying here.
The Warriors will party here next week?
Yeah.
We'll see. We're Warrior country, so we'll find out. Till then, for Ross Collins, I'm Joey Blaze. We'll see you Sunday. Have a good weekend, guys.